Today I'm going to tell you an interesting story about the life of Saint Joan of Arc. Saint Joan is also known as the Maid of Orleans and the patron saint of France, prisoners and soldiers. She was born around 1412 in a small village of Domremy, France, and she was a daughter of farmers and lived a simple country life. In her young age, she was known to be religious, and when she was 13 years old, she began to experience visions from Saint Michael, Saint Catherine, and Saint Margaret. In her vision, they urged her to save France, which was struggling from the 100 Years of War against England. At that time, many of France's territories were controlled by the English army. Even though she was a peasant, she went to Charles VII, the eldest son of the King of France, and persuaded him to lead the French army. Initially, many doubted her, but her determination impressed the future king. At the age of 17, she led the whole troops to battle, while dressed in armor and carrying only a banner instead of a sword. She inspired the tired and weary French army with her unwavering belief in God. And against all odds, the French army brought a stunning victory over the English at the Siege of Orleans in 1429. This marked a turning point in the war. From then on, every attack they launched resulted in victory, with town after town falling into their hands. The French army was so inspired by her that they respected her so much even though she was a teenage girl and only a peasant. However, in May 1430, when they attacked the Burgundians, an ally of England, she was unfortunately captured and she voluntarily agreed to surrender. When the Burgundians saw her as a dangerous figure, they traded her as a ransom to the English crown for 10,000 livres, and Joan was brought to England for trial on charges of heresy. Despite her youth and lack of formal education, she defended herself eloquently in front of the clerical judges and bishops, but the trial they gave her was rigged against her favor. So they eventually admonished her and found her guilty of heresy, witchcraft, and dressing like a man, and she was sentenced for execution. On May 30th, 1431, Joan was burned in public at the market square. It was said that she died praying, with the name of Jesus on her lips. Many people who witnessed her execution were moved to tears, and even some of her enemies began to believe she was truly sent by God. About 2 decades after her death, Pope Calixtus III authorized a retrial of Joan's case to clear her name, since it was known that her original trial had been led by corrupt church officials. With over 115 witnesses interviewed, the court found that the original trial was unjust and deceitful, and then it was nullified. Then the court ordered that a cross should be erected on the site of her execution to honor her bravery and courage as a martyr of Christ. Later, she was canonized as a saint by Pope Benedict XV, and today she is venerated as the patron saint of France, prisoners and soldiers. Her feast day is celebrated every 30th of May. If you like stories like this, support us, follow, like, and subscribe.